There is a boat, a tiny boat, that sails on the raging sea.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Making Music Podcast. I'm Becky Syson.
And I'm Lauren South.
Oh, and it's great to have you back again. We're on episode 3. Very exciting.
We've
So grab
managed,
yourself.
we've managed to organise 3 get-together
Yeah, it's
sessions.
fab. Grab yourself a
Yeah.
cup of tea and join us. We're going to be here for about 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. And today we're going to be talking about something very dear to our hearts. We're going to be talking about songwriting, and we're going to be picking our process apart because everybody is very different and there is no wrong or right way of writing a song. So we thought we'd try and inspire you guys to maybe pick up a pen, pick up a guitar and write your own song. So, so Lauren, what about songwriting? When did you first write your very first song? Can you remember? Do you have a
Oh,
process?
absolutely.
Or
So for me, I came to it really quite late. I've always been a musician, always played stuff, went through the whole education system and had to compose for various things, but never
yeah,
songs. It was always instrumental music.
okay,
Um, and I only started writing my own stuff really when I think it was partly a confidence thing. I was always
yeah,
I always shied away, and I think I still do get the kind of whole imposter syndrome. Like
yeah.
I can't no one could possibly want to listen to what I'm
This is going to be in
turning
another
out.
podcast, by the way. We're definitely going to cover imposter
Yeah,
syndrome. It's a
but
hard one.
what it is. But what happened for me was actually in lockdown number one, well, just
Yeah,
before lockdown number one,
okay.
a friend suggested that because I did play out, I played out with a trio and we
Mhm.
played kind of covers and traditional music.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to be able to play out. I was only doing kind of open mics and sing arounds at that point in
Yeah.
time. But I
Still
really
good.
wanted to be able to accompany
All has
myself.
value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I do play violin, and I play piano I did up till that point. But obviously, you can't really. It's a bit difficult carting a keyboard
It's very
piano,
difficult.
obviously. And so I bought myself a tenor guitar and a shruti box. And so these were instruments that I absolutely didn't know what to do with.
I love that.
And you know what? The freedom of
Yeah.
thinking, I don't have to play it any particular way.
No.
There
Yeah.
are no expectations. I can just, so I deliberately kind of didn't look up tunings and I didn't look up chord
That's a
shape.
really good idea. I
I
love
just
that.
went with what sounded good to me.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
noodled, and I'll always go on about noodling because it's just playing, just messing about and experimenting. And what happened was just so cool because it was so at the time I was homeschooling my 3
Yeah.
girls, and they were
Of
all at
course.
different schools. So there was a lot of tech going on in the daytime and a lot of like, right, hang on, who needs to do a lesson?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Very hard.
And so it was kind of like a real, it was a really nice way of winding down from
Yeah.
it was quite intense, wasn't it? Let's be
It
honest.
was. It was
It
very
was
intense.
quite
Yeah.
intense.
The pressures. Yeah.
Yes. And so the music for me has always been a way of winding down, but the new instruments was my
Yeah.
way into songwriting. I didn't kind of
That's
deliberately
so
do it.
cool.
It just kind of happened. And the rest is history, really. So that was around about 6 years ago now.
Wow.
And I just got completely bitten by the bug because once I realized that, oh, hang on, I can maybe write songs too. And the other thing with me was I used to
Yeah.
have a lot of throat problems. I constantly had tonsillitis, like but as a even as a
As a
grown up.
child.
As a
Oh,
child,
as
I
a grown
did,
up. Yeah.
and as a grown up, also I did struggle for years and years
Oh,
with it. And it was just at that point in time that I'm talking about that I did actually finally have them out. Um,
yeah. And then you're
and I was
free.
able to sing. Yes, I was able to sing, which was another freeing thing for me. Um,
Absolutely.
and so that's where my songwriting journey started, really not very long ago. But because I was already a musician and a teacher,
Yeah.
it really informed my teaching because all of a sudden I was like a beginner and I didn't
Yeah.
know what I was doing. And
Yeah.
it's just been a really fun journey of going from that to where I am now.
Now. Yeah. You've
Um,
got an album under your belt and
yeah,
another one
yeah.
on the way.
And I was bitten by the bug because ultimately I find it stupid amounts of fun. That's why
It's
I write
incredible.
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you then? What's your songwriting story?
Well, quite different to you actually, and I would just say as well to the listeners, that's really inspiring. The fact that you've come into it at a later age, it just proves that there is no right and wrong. If you think you're too old to do something, you are not. Go for it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So I was different. I suppose I first started writing songs when I was a teenager. I can't exactly remember when my
Yeah.
first song popped into my head, but it was definitely inspired from going along to folk clubs with my parents and my family, and just hearing other people's own songs. I was really inspired by that, and I always used to write a lot. Like write in a diary, write poems, things sort of expressing my feelings. So I think the lyrics side of it, I've always found pretty
Interesting.
easy. I think I know a lot of people, musicians, can really struggle with the lyric side of it, can't they? I don't know if you found this. They're really good at
Yeah.
musically, they're very, very talented, but they kind of don't believe that they can write their own songs. They're like, oh, I wouldn't know what to say. And that's something that I've never really had a problem with.
It is.
I
I
have
think, yeah, I think
had
it is
that. That's just the way
certainly.
I roll, I guess.
Yeah, so
So, yeah.
generally I will, so at the beginning, yeah, you're completely right. I would always go with the music and the vibe
Would you
first.
first? Yeah, because you've
But
got a musical background, I
I
suppose, as well. So you're
guess so
comfortable with the music.
that's like my comfort
Mm,
zone.
mm,
But actually, I have found in recent years that I am able to come into songs from quite different
mm.
sources of inspiration.
Different angles. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
different angles. And I did used to write poems
Oh,
as
okay.
a
There you go.
child. Yeah.
You probably
Um,
forgot about
and
that. Yeah.
actually, it's only you saying that you
Mm,
used to
mm,
that's made me realise I did write. But I think on the
yeah.
whole, lyrics for me as a starting point aren't the most natural thing always.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
most of my songs, if I'm honest, have come from a different direction
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important to talk about
Mm,
process because
yeah.
ultimately, like you said at the beginning, there is absolutely no
No,
set formula of coming into
there isn't.
and getting inspired. And
No.
sometimes I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll get like a one line or a one word.
Same. Yeah, that's often the case with me as well. I mean, obviously, like I say, I think starting out, I've never had a problem with lyrics, but then, I mean, I've learnt the piano, but I'm a self-taught guitarist because, again, you go to these places and guitars are generally the thing that you accompany with a
Yeah,
song, isn't it?
yeah,
Because I guess, like you say,
yeah.
it's easy to take around and do. And because I'm self-taught, again, very similar to how you were saying with your new instruments, you have this kind of like, I didn't overthink it. I would just play what
Just, yeah.
sounded nice again. And sometimes, like you're saying, there's just a little line or a melody, a tune sort of pops into your head.
Mm.
Quite often when I'm doing random things, I don't know about you. I might
Yeah.
be in the shower, I might be walking the dog or
Oh,
driving.
absolutely,
Driving my car is
absolutely.
a big one. And I'm like, oh, I need to remember this. I need to remember this. I need to keep singing it in my head so I
Yeah.
don't forget.
I know. So for me, it is.
Weird.
It's usually when I've got headspace that
Yeah.
things will, or what I'll do is I'll keep, and I know you do the same, I'll keep either voice notes or
Yes.
notepad notes on my phone
Yeah.
when I see or hear things that I'm think, oh yeah, actually that's
That.
like
That.
a little,
Yeah.
could be a little something.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
always now sort of like I sort of go through my day almost thinking, almost looking for songs,
Do
like
you?
almost.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because I'm a big people watcher. I love, not in a freaky
Yeah.
way, just I just like watching.
I think we all do.
Um,
We're interested in each
yeah,
other, aren't we?
and inspiration will hit when you least expect it. But in terms of
Absolutely.
writing, I know I've heard people who've written a whole song in the bath with no
Mm.
instrument. They've just kind of they've had
Yeah, it just comes
that
like you say you're
space.
relaxing or you're doing something that like say driving, because you've been doing it for so
Yeah,
long, you kind of switch off to some degree
yeah.
because your brain is concentrating, but it's almost
Mm.
like your subconscious can go off and
Mm.
be creative, I suppose.
And
It's
I've often,
quite
well, no,
cool.
not often, but when I've been either playing or at a gig
Yes.
or whatever, I have sometimes found that so inspiring that
Yeah,
on
that's
my way
true.
home, I'm
Mm.
like full of
Yes.
ideas.
Yeah, that definitely has happened to me quite a few times actually, because especially if you've had a really positive interaction with other people and you can see how it's made them feel,
Mm.
you kind of just get this lift, don't you, of almost like, wow, I need to do more
Mm.
of this.
Yeah,
It's a real creative inspiration. It's
yeah.
I love that. I love that feeling. I'd forgotten about that feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good one. And then
it
I know
is.
that so we're lucky in the sense that we share a love of the outdoors,
Nature.
the
Yeah.
earth, and
Yeah.
everything. And I
Wonder.
do, yeah, and that is, I think it's something that inspires a lot of people, no matter what the
Absolutely.
subject matter of the song ends up being about.
Yeah.
I think it is just that awe and that beauty
Yeah. That's an
combined.
interest. Yeah. It's an interesting thought, isn't it? Like, well, if somebody's out there wanting to start writing songs, they might well say, well, what am I going to write about? And
Mm,
that's a real big one, like nature. Quite often I write songs about people as well. I don't know,
me
um,
too.
people in your life, or just sometimes even how you're feeling. It's just a
Yeah,
way of expressing, isn't it?
I think what I will often say to people at groups is,
Yeah.
talking about songwriting as a whole,
Mm.
is that sometimes we'll fall into the trap of thinking that it's got to be this epic thing,
Ah, yes.
whereas
Yes.
actually, the best songs usually deal
Very
with
simple.
something really
Mm.
quite brief at their core, at their
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
is an idea or a feeling or a
Yeah.
line that is they don't you
Yeah.
think it's got like a
Absolutely. Yeah. It's got that because most songs have got obviously repetition in them as well, haven't
yeah,
they? So you'd like you
yes,
say it could just literally be one line or one subject matter, like a little starting point, and then it's almost built all around that one thing.
exactly.
And
And
there's nothing wrong
because
with that. That is a good
no,
song, really.
no,
The
and simple
repetition,
songs,
they're some of the best.
simple are often, yeah, because what I think is important to remember, we're not dealing with the written word here. So
No.
when you're dealing with listening to lyrics or,
Mm.
whatever songs,
Yeah.
to kind of they've got to be they've
Got
got
to
to be
hear it, haven't you?
instantly
Yeah.
accessible,
Yeah.
and you can't go back and reread, and you
Yeah.
haven't got that flow of poetry on the page. It's got to
Yeah.
be this little, I call it breadcrumbs. So
Oh, right.
it's
Nice.
and it works really well when I'm trying to write, is that I think, okay, I've got my kind of core message. How
Mm.
am I going to build my song around it? Well,
Mm.
I'm going to give people at the beginning of my song a couple of breadcrumbs to kind of just let them set the scene.
Yeah.
But the breadcrumbs aren't necessarily going to be very obvious ones. They're going to say
Yeah.
more than what I want them to say,
Yeah, I like that.
and then kind of build it up like that. And that's
Yeah.
something that somebody told me once, and I thought actually that makes perfect sense. If you're
Yeah.
just don't try too hard, I think.
Yeah, I think
Let your listener
absolutely.
fill in the details themselves. You don't need to tell the whole story.
You really don't. And obviously, like we've said before, haven't we, that it's about that connection and as with any other art, it's not just about you, it's about what it brings to that person. So
Yeah,
some songs, might mean totally different things to somebody else. The listener could pull something out of that song that you hadn't even thought about. And
absolutely. And
that's
that's
kind of magic
beautiful.
as well, isn't it? I
Yeah, so
think,
you can get
yeah,
different things. And actually that's
yeah,
why it's nice sometimes not to be quite so obvious. I
obvious.
really
Yeah,
like
yeah,
songs that make me think and they make me wonder.
yeah,
And I think,
yeah.
what were they thinking?
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
and
What was that
that
about?
space
Yeah,
allows you to connect with it in your own way from
yeah,
your own experience. Um, so yeah, I think that's a really
yeah.
nice way of thinking about it.
It is, and I think, like you've said before, just don't overthink it. Just try it out, and take the pressure off. It's not you don't have to write, the best song of the world, do you, to get the value from it? And,
And
and I think
I don't know
it's
about
not
your
about that, is it?
no, it isn't.
it's
And I
about it's about just processing the feelings. I think, obviously, as I said before, about starting songwriting when I was a teenager, obviously, you
mm,
know what it's like when you're a teenager. It's a really hard sort of stage of life. There's lots of pressures. And it was probably a way of like kind of trying to understand who I was, all the pressures that was going on around me, all the
yeah,
feelings, your body's changing, you got all these hormones. It was obviously very like probably very emotional back then. So there's
mm,
just all this expectation, isn't there? And it was a really
yeah,
nice way of just getting out what was going on in my head and feeling a bit lighter because of that.
yeah.
So yeah, just
And that
roll with it.
it's a lovely way of expressing yourself
Mm.
and whatever's going on for you. Yes, definitely right because I find it absolutely brilliant coping
It's
with
like
all
a
kinds of
therapy.
things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But
it
also,
is.
I think it's interesting to talk to different people about. There is you can easily think to yourself, right, okay, I want to write a song now.
Yeah, that doesn't always happen,
That
does it?
doesn't, no.
No,
You've got to kind of
no.
either have tools
Mm,
if you're on a deadline, have tools to help you,
yeah.
or
Get
wait
yourself
till
into the creative space. But sometimes, like we were just saying, it happens when you least expect it.
yeah,
And just be open to those things. I call them song bites. I don't know why. I call them song bites. And you said, you might just quickly record it on your phone, that little snippet for a later date. And then, like you say, if you've got a
yeah,
deadline or something that you have to write the song now, you've got something, you've got a starting point,
some
haven't you?
ammo,
Because it's a
exactly.
bit like the blank page as an artist when
Yeah.
people say they're really scared of the blank page because they're like, oh, well, what do I do with it? It's kind of that writer's block. If you've got some little ideas already there, you can
Yes.
pull them out when you want to, when you have the time, because we don't always have the time, do we? As well, that's
No. And I
that's a
think
big one.
also, I don't know, I was going to ask you because I don't think I've ever spoken to you about this.
Oh, okay.
With your songwriting,
Mm-hmm.
do your songs tend to come all in one go,
Mm.
or do they take days, weeks, months? I met somebody recently and they played me a song that has been on the simmer for about
Right.
15 years. And
Oh,
it's
wow.
sort of had various different
Yeah.
incarnations. But I think that's
Yeah.
beautiful because we've
We
said
ebb and
before,
flow. We
life is
change. Yep.
always changing.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I don't know about you, I've had some songs that have literally, it's like they've fallen from the sky into my lap. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
I've had it happen.
Yeah.
And then I've got some songs that, they'll get to a certain point and then I'll get a little bit stuck with them,
Yeah.
and then I think we put ourselves under a lot of pressure to kind of think, right, oh, I've started it,
Finish them.
finish it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
actually, sometimes that whole, I call it latent brain, that whole like
Oh, yeah.
background processing time
Yeah.
needs to happen. What about, I don't know, what happens for
Yeah.
you?
Very similar. I've had it all sorts of ways. It is magical when it happens, when it just kind of falls out, just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I love that feeling. You're just
yeah.
like, yeah, this is amazing. Doesn't happen that often
Mm.
because you've got to be in that creative mindset and yeah, and just have the time as well, like we were
Mm.
saying, when you've got other commitments.
Yeah.
But mostly, I'd say most songs do probably for me come out quite quickly, though, just the way that it rolls. Although I have had some songs, that some really old songs that I have recently kind of revisited and changed slightly. So that's
Nice. Okay.
interesting that you should say about the person 15 years simmering away,
Yeah.
because we are totally different people in that space of time, really, aren't we? Naturally, we all should change and grow. So it's really nice to like go back to some of these old songs and think,
Yeah.
oh, what was I thinking then? Or maybe I'll do it in this way.
Mm.
So that again, there is no right and wrong. Don't freak out if you can't write a song. Sometimes it can literally be the last line that you just
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
get. and if you get frustrated, you can't, that's just not going to help you at all, is it? You just got to go away, come back again.
Absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
would be one of my tips.
Mm.
But yeah, it is one of those processes though. I think sometimes, I don't know about you, but when I'm writing a song, I just kind of have to keep going over and over and over it.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
do that with like
Yeah.
just, and then more things will just suddenly come out and you'll be like, oh, that's great. And get your
Yeah,
pen and you
and
write that down.
sometimes it
Weird.
does just need times. I'll annoy
Mm,
myself by playing this same bit, and I'll think, oh, I don't know
yeah.
where it's gonna go, and I'll put
Yeah.
it down, and then I'll wait 3 days, pick
Mm,
it up
mm.
again, and because you're in a different place or a
I
different
don't know what it is,
no,
but
but
yeah, you're
it
so
does just
right.
help. It does just
Yeah,
help,
it does. It's like we say,
and I think
sleep on it.
yeah, that completely. And I think the other thing. Um, that I find really useful
Mhm.
is to kind of to practice writing and
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
to feel like to realize that
Yeah.
nothing that you produce is a waste.
No,
If
that's
you
that's a
think it's
biggie.
rubbish,
That's a biggie.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're practicing um,
Yeah.
your writing and for me, it's practicing that flow.
Yeah.
Certainly for lyrics with me. And I
Absolutely.
very easily get, just like I do with dinners, I get stuck in dinner rut, where I'm like, oh, I don't know what to cook.
I've
Oh,
got to cook this
I've
again.
got to eat spaghetti bol again. And no, I'm serious though. It's the same, I find, with writing.
Yeah.
If I just practice, it just expands.
Exactly. And that's the same with so many things. That's a
Yeah.
very similar as an artist. They do say, like, I follow a lot of other artists, and that they say use your just use your material, get the paint out, practice. Don't be scared of using your best paint, because at the end of the day, if you're not practicing with it, the inspiration won't come. So you've got to, they're just like, don't be afraid to make bad art. And it's the same with anything really, isn't it? You've got to
Mm.
just go through a process sometimes, and there might be stuff that you don't like, but it doesn't matter. Nobody
No,
else has to hear
not
it, do
wasted.
they?
And that took me a while to
It's your
get
mindset.
comfortable
Yeah.
with that concept that
We don't
actually,
like to make mistakes, do we?
no,
But it's part of
no, but it is
learning.
part of the
It's
process.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And then the other
yeah.
thing
Mm,
is that I think, and I know this, I know you feel the same because we've spoken about this before, the idea of creating and writing on your own is
mm,
wonderful, but what
hmm.
magic happens when you collaborate
Yeah.
is just
It's another level, isn't
It
it?
is,
Two
it is.
brains. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think that's why there are songwriting conventions and circles and
Yeah.
sing
Yeah.
around and play around and everything else,
Yeah.
because it is so inspiring to just hear other people's processes and
Yeah.
the way they do things and
Yeah.
share ideas. And like I was saying with the whole dinner rut thing, I get in a rut with certain ways that I'm playing.
Yeah.
That was the beautiful thing about
That's true. You
having
can
instruments
be
that
on
I didn't
repetitive.
that I couldn't play yet,
Yeah.
was that
Yeah.
it just opened up a whole new soundscape for me,
Definitely. Experimenting, isn't it? It's almost like a
experimenting. And
scientist in a
yeah,
lab. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I've recently written a new song, and it was kind of like 75% done, but it
Mm-hmm.
needed something else. And so what I tend to do, I know I've sent you things before,
Yeah.
haven't I? I'm like, Becky, help. What I tend to do is I'll send them to somebody else. And
Yeah.
it's brilliant because
Fresh ears.
often somebody else, exactly, exactly. So sometimes you get too far into it,
Mm, mm.
and also you're so keen to finish it off that
Yeah.
it's almost like, oh, the box arrives and you can't
Yeah.
think outside the box. And
Yeah.
so that's something else that I find really useful,
Definitely.
is to collaborate with other writers
Other musicians. Yeah.
and other musicians.
Yeah.
Um, and
Just
I know,
look at like, the backs of CDs, when it says about the songwriters, famous songs, there are often
oh,
lots of names there. It's not usually just one
no,
person that's written a
no,
song, is it? So
exactly,
there you
exactly.
go. So if you're struggling with one bit, like Lauren says, find collaborate with
Mm,
somebody else, that's what we've been talking about as well, isn't it? With music, it's all about this connection,
mm.
and it's lovely. It's so nice, isn't it? I just love that about
And it's all
songwriting.
about doing it. And if you've got, I've met people who have come to me at workshops and things, and they've got music but no words, or they've got words but no
Yeah, but
music.
no
And I'll say,
music. Yep.
just got to do it.
There you
And if
go. Go
you
together.
don't, yeah, well, yeah, you just do it up.
Yeah.
But if you, yeah, it's that whole overthinking thing.
Mm.
Just try. Just
Fear of the unknown, but we've got to go for it.
yeah,
Um,
just doing
One
it.
other thing, you were talking about songs. Do you ever and finishing them?
Mm.
Is there ever a point where certain songs you think, oh, is this finished or is it not? I don't know about you, but
Yeah,
sometimes I write too many verses,
yeah.
and then after playing it for a while, I'll be like, I don't think it actually needs that extra verse. I think it's better shorter. So how do you know that a song is finished? That's
That's so tricky because
it's a hard one, isn't it? But I just,
yeah, because my
how do you
songs,
know? Or is
they
it personal?
I think it's personal. I think
Hmm.
the more you play them and share them
Live, yes. Yes,
live,
that's actually, yes, that's
that's
that's it, isn't it?
that's my kind of benchmark with my
Yes,
songs, is that quite often
I
it's a vastly
agree.
different experience
Mm,
playing them at home or
yeah.
wherever you write, compared with when you're out. And so
Mm,
wherever you are choosing to share your songs, it's at those places, and it's
mm.
only once it's kind of bedded in
Yeah,
that
and you're
you'll
getting
think
that
to yourself,
response. That's
actually,
so
do
interesting.
I need that bit? Is that
Yeah,
crucial to the story? Actually, probably
yes.
not. And I've been known to cut great big great big chunks out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
uh, months down the line, so I'll have played it
Same,
out
same
one
actually.
day.
Now you've hit the nail on the head there, because I was like, how do I actually know that this song is finished? But that is it, isn't it? That's the key, is when you start to perform them live in front of an audience. And it's a nerve-wracking thing, isn't it, when you first
Yeah,
do a new song in front of an audience, because you're like, oh, are they gonna, because I don't know why we get quite attached to our new songs, don't we? They're almost like new babies, new seedlings in the world, and we
yeah,
want
and
to
and
we
and
want them to flourish.
I do
It's
always say it is a bizarre concept, isn't it? Because as
it
a
is.
writer, you're you're literally putting on display
Yes, it's very
something
personal.
that's been,
Yeah. Mm.
inside, and it is a personal thing, even if the song
Yes.
necessarily isn't
Not,
a
yeah.
particularly
Yeah.
personal song. It's
It's
still a
still,
creation that you've made, and
you
you're
feel
just
open. Yeah. And
hoping, aren't
vulnerable.
you,
Yeah.
that it
Yeah.
lands.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
But the other thing I will say is that most of my songs do morph over time. It's funny, I don't
Yeah.
realise it until, so I'll always do recordings, like little phone recordings and things.
Yeah.
And if I look back to some of my songs, listen back to them, the
Yeah.
songs that I'm still playing now that I wrote right at the beginning, so 5 or 6 years ago, they're actually really, I don't
You
realise
almost don't
how
recognize them.
different they are. They are
That is,
really
yes.
different.
Yeah.
But
It
I
is
think that's
interesting, isn't
nice
it?
because that's the nature of the beast, really.
It is. It is. So there we go. Again, no right or wrong way of
No,
doing it.
no, but it is
Don't
just really
think that
nice.
your songs can't change as well. Like we've just established that, they can grow and change with you. So, but all in all, I'd just say give it a go. Like Lauren says, even if you're more of a lyrics, or you're more your thing, or the music is more your thing, maybe you might be able to find somebody to collaborate with and
Yeah,
yeah, and
you just don't
share.
know, you don't know till you try.
No, you don't.
And, I think it's whatever stage you're at, whether you are up there on
That's true.
main stages, writing and performing, or whether you're
Yep.
just thinking about starting out,
Yeah,
we all share the same issues with
we
writing,
do.
with the music and the
Yep.
chords and the
Yep.
lyrics and what do I do when. And so the best thing to do is just to do it and just to communicate with other
And have a
people.
go.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
And
exactly
we're
that.
all just humans at the end of the day. And I think, we all connect through music because a lot of the subjects we can all relate to. So yeah,
Yeah.
try not to overthink it.
And I just think it's
Go
such a
for it.
beautiful gift that we've got to be able to create. I know we've said this
Yeah.
before, and it does bother me hugely. This is probably a different topic.
You're going to go
Different
into
podcast.
AI.
Yes.
Yeah, this is definitely on the list to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, because however great it might be, if we don't use our skills, we will lose them, and that's so
Wow.
scary.
Yeah.
So write,
It really is.
people,
Yes, be
write.
creative and don't be scared to get things wrong. We'd love to hear it actually. If anybody has any kind of like songs out there, sort of little
Yeah,
snippets or anything,
yeah.
share them. We'd
Well, the
love
whole
that.
the whole point behind with these conversations being broadcast
Yes,
is
out in
that
the open.
yeah, is that we are looking to build some kind of community with them.
Absolutely.
Beyond the having to go out to gigs,
Mm,
just the chats, just the over
yeah.
a coffee and a natter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just nice to understand how we've all got our different processes, and I find it really inspiring talking to you,
Yeah,
Lauren, about this kind of thing, and sort
yeah,
of
ditto.
understanding yourself a little bit more. Sometimes you don't
Absolutely.
realize it, do you, until you're having a conversation. You're like, oh yes, I
Yeah,
do that actually, or
yeah.
yeah, you don't feel so alone. And sometimes when people, about songwriting, I'm very much a feel your way with songs. I don't really have any specific way of doing it.
Mm.
And so I think, oh, is that wrong? Should I have a specific way? But clearly, talking to you, you're like, no, let's just all have our own way. It's all
We
good.
should probably talk another time about, there are lots of specific ways that are
Mm,
really, really good ways in. If we
yes, that's
all want
true.
to
Yeah,
start with that
starting
blank page,
starting points
um,
for people. Yeah,
starting
that's a
point,
good
so we
idea.
should probably do that. But yeah,
Yeah, I'll write that
so
down. It's a
if
good
you want to
idea.
find out more, folks,
Yeah.
then do follow along, subscribe to our new channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
And come and find us on socials. So, Becky, I can never remember.
Becky Syson, just on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I have my own website as well. So, like I say, you
Excellent.
can always comment or email me. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm Lauren South Music on Facebook and Instagram and website as well. So do get in touch And yeah, we really hope that you're enjoying
Enjoying it, yeah.
listening
Enjoying
along
these
to our chat.
these conversations. Well, I'm certainly absolutely loving it. So
Me too.
thank you, Lauren.
Me too. All
All
right.
right, we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Close your eyes, rest your head. Time to climb into your bed, where a world waits for you to dream all you want to do. To dream all you want to do.